So if you're like trying to work out, or if you're trying to do comedy for the first time ever and you haven't done it before, like it's not just a thing you start and do once in a while if you want to see results. If it's something that you're serious about having in your life and getting those positive impacts from, then you got to keep doing it. You don't stop. You just keep doing it until you're dead. Sorry, you do it and then you're gone.
Jokes in the gym. Jokes in the gym. Not jokes in the gym. Jokes in the gym. Jokes in the gym. With Rudy Tibersi.
What is up, my friends, my jokers, my gymmers, my slayers, and naysayers? How are you doing today? It's another day. It's another day. Did you know that about today, that it's another one? And after this, they keep coming? They don't stop. That's the thing about days, is they keep coming in so many different ways that you can continue to slays. You know what I'm saying? No, I am happy to be here. No reason I said no right there. I'd say yes. It's a strong yes. It's a yes and. How are you going to yes and today? What are you going to continue with on this whatever day of the week, whatever slay of the week? If you don't know, my name is Rudy Tibersi. You're listening to Jokes and the Gym with Rudy Tibersi, and I'm a comedian and a personal trainer and just some dude who likes working out, and I love cats as well. I'm chilling, and I'm excited to be here. I'm at the start of a 90-day challenge called the 90-Day Slay with a couple dozen awesome folks that I'm happy to be working with, and we're getting into week 2. I'm excited about it. And if you've ever tried something new and gotten past the first week and into the second week and you're still doing it, that's a huge friggin' accomplishment. Like seriously, like if you're trying a new thing in your life and after a week you're still doing it, that's huge. That's giant. I read somewhere that it's the first 15 minutes of a new task that like is really hard to get through. That first 15, and then once you're past that, you're like, "Oh, I'm rolling, baby. I'm flowing." And I think for habits, it's kind of like that, but it's like 15 days. Like it takes a long time to put new habits. So if you're like trying to work out now, or if you're trying to do comedy now for the first time ever and you haven't done it before, like it's not just a thing you start and do once in a while if you want to see results. If it's something that you're serious about having in your life and getting those positive impacts from, then you got to keep doing it. You don't stop. You just keep doing it until you're dead. Sorry, you do it and then you're gone. That's not why I work out even. I don't even work out for everlasting life so I don't die. I'm gonna die. You're gonna die. Your dog's gonna die. Your best friend's gonna die. Your mom and your dad, your teachers are all gonna die. We're all gonna so die. We're gonna be way dead as hell. So dead. And I think once we accept that, that's when you start living, baby. That's when you start living. Now, I don't know if that's some Tony Robbins bullshit or what, but it is what I believe. You gotta wrestle with that angel of death, as Don Miguel Ruiz says. You gotta be able to look that angel of death in the eyes and say, you know what? I know you're there, and I'm here, and someday I'll be there. But for now, I'm gonna keep chugging along and doing the things that bring me joy. You bring me joy. So does that Zach Galifianakis video of You Bring Me Joy. Have you ever watched that? Any of the music videos he does where he just lip syncs other people's songs? Pure beauty. Joy. Love. He did a Kanye song where he's just like grinding on his tractor on his farm. Dude, yes, do that. I guess I'm excited about videos right now because I recorded one of my first videos in a long time back in the yard at the gym, dog, in my backyard gym for the 6 movement patterns. I recorded that special bonus episode of the pod last weekend, you might want to give it a listen if you're interested in what those 6 movement patterns are. Push, pull, carry, squat, hinge, lunge. You will be so tired of hearing push, pull, carry, squat, hinge, lunge by the time you're done with me. By the end of this 90-day slay, if you want to participate, just give me an email, jokesandthegym@gmail.com. I'm starting to get more emails from folks, and I'm excited about it. If I haven't gotten back to you, I'm sorry. I apologize. I will shortly. I will soon. That's on my list. See my list? I haven't written it, but it's on there. So we're at the beginning of the 90-day slay. We're chugging along, and I've heard from folks like, in some ways, their bodies are talking to them. Their bodies are talking to them and saying, take it easy. I don't think it's because of working out. I think it's just because of the time of the season, the change in seasons, the time of the year. And in Oregon, we're in Oregon, and our bodies revolt against this pollen. Someone told me at the Y the other day, what is it? Kentucky rye grass that grows here that just does our heads in. And I'm like, what? Kentucky rye? We shouldn't be getting the ill effects of Kentucky rye in the Willamette Valley. That's bullshit. I don't even drink. That's probably why it has such an impact on so many folks. But if you're trying to work out and you're less than 100%, take it easy. Okay. I'm a big resty boy. I love to rest. I love big, beautiful rests. You put your rests in my face. Rest it up, please. Because it's important. Tell me about your rests. Show me your rest. If you're not working out, resting is just important. And if you didn't know, the 3 main parts to like improving your body and your health is movement, rest, and nutrition. And all 3 of those things play such a huge part. And what I just love, I believe in strength training. I believe that the benefits of strength training are greater pound for pound than pretty much any other form of exercise. And so that's why I'm really pushing that. I put out my Jimmy Gym workouts this week. If you want to know more about those, you can reach out to me. It's easy. They're built around the 6 movement patterns. If you know the 6 movement patterns, you can put your own Jimmy Gym workout or your own homie home workout together. If you want to know more about them, check out that last special pod. Give me a call. Give me a text. Shoot me a line. Find me on the socials. You know what I mean? If you want to know more about how to work out, there's a million ways to do that. There's so much information. Maybe my cup of tea doesn't sit right with you. So go find another cup of tea. Just find a cup of tea that works for thee. All right? Find something that works for you. Stick with it. See if you can. And I'm excited to see how it's working for the folks in the sleigh. Some people are using a lot of the tools I'm setting forth, and some people are not. That's the thing. It's like you have to make the choice. You are going to make the choice to adjust, to put good habits in your life when you're ready. Most people stay in this pre-contemplation phase. This is something we learn as we're training to become trainers. People stay in this pre-contemplation phase for months or even years sometimes. So it's like, okay, I'm thinking about going to the gym. Oh, there's a gym. Oh, I'm going to work out. I'm thinking about working out. Oh, look, I bought a shoe. Maybe next month I'll buy my second shoe. And then I could even really think about working out. You know, like people get in these phases that are getting ready. We're getting jazzed. We're starting it up. And if you are stuck there, what can you do to move forward? What can you do to reduce the amount of friction between you and your goals? That's what those first couple weeks are, especially. So with a lot of folks, it's like cleaning out a space to find somewhere to work out at home. Remember the pandemic when we were all trying to get abs in the backyard gyms? We're like, we're going to change our lives. We're going to do so much. And you know what? I did a ton in the pandemic. I started my workouts in the backyard. I committed time, energy, and resources to making a home gym, a place that I could really enjoy working out and get good workouts from. And I love it. Oh my gosh, I love it. I still get workouts back there. I wrote a TV show. I did a bunch of stuff during the pandemic. It was good. When I had fewer responsibilities, I was able to really focus myself. And so maybe that's what would help you if you're trying to hit a goal that you haven't hit before. Maybe you got to move some things off your plate, dog. What do you have on your plate that isn't filling you in the right ways? You know what I mean? Like, what are the things in there that are like, that didn't leave me feeling better? That didn't leave me feeling better. And last week, on Friday, I had lunch with my friend Abby, dinner with my friend Tim. It was like two wonderful conversations with friends, hanging out, eating grub, connecting. It's so nice to be able to do that. Abby will be on the pod again. I'm excited for him. I'm excited for Tim. Two good friends making moves that are like, I think we find people in our lives that we connect with and have similarities with. All of us have been in higher education for a lot of years of our lives. That's a big part of who we are in a lot of ways. And so I think that's one of the reasons why certain friends like Tim and Abby and myself, we're able to stay connected, is because we're kind of on the same wavelength. And you don't have to be on the same wavelength to be good friends. You just need to be a good friend, you know? I'm going to revisit some conversations today with Mike Richman, host of Locked On Blazers. I'm a big fan of this guy's. I've followed his work for many years. And I'm going to revisit a conversation with Tom Rhodes, Tom Riggedy Rhodes, one of the greats, man. Tom is awesome. Tom is a comedy icon, and I'm lucky to call the guy a friend. And we talk about what it means to be a good friend. And I really appreciate that. I feel like Tom is a good friend of mine. He stayed here in this very cottage where I'm recording this when he was coming through Oregon not too long ago. He met my mom. You know, people who want to be a part of your life, who take efforts to be a part of your life, who think about you and you think about them in a way that's encouraging, that induces growth, that makes you both want to be better people. How lucky are we to have people like that in our lives? Think about the people in your lives that you feel comfortable with, that you feel happy with, that you feel the most like yourself with. Think about those people and like silently like give them a big hug in your brain. Smush them. Squeeze their beautiful cheeks in your mind. Think about their beautiful face. Give them a hug. If you can give them a smooch, a cheek, a little European, give them that. Don't be a creep. But think about the people in your life. Send them some good vibes. Maybe even send them a text. Maybe get them some DoorDash. I guess the point is, like, keep the people in your life that you want in your life, that make you feel more like yourself. I think about my friend Jessica, who was on the show. She was on one of my episodes. She was one of my closest friends. She still is. We haven't talked in a while, but she's one of those people that when we lived in the same place, we made efforts to just see each other and have conversations. She was somebody who, if I saw on the day of a show, that show would go better. That's my hack to having a good show. Spend time with the people you feel most like yourself with. Who are the people that you have the most fun with when you're just hanging out with, that you can laugh with when you're not even expecting to or trying to, that you can be yourself, that you can say the things that are actually meaningful to you, and they'll understand you and look at you with compassionate curiosity and not judgment, and hold you actually or metaphorically. You know, who holds space for you in a way that's important. That's important. Who holds space for you? Who do you hold space for? Who do you feel comfortable doing that with? Because for me in my life, it's been hard to find that. I've often found that I feel like I'm just too much for other people just by being myself, and that's hard. I feel deeply. I have emotions, and I put them out there, and I want to share them. I can't not feel my emotions, and just because I'm in public doesn't mean I'm going to hold things inside. In fact, I don't think that's healthy. We're all parts of a community, right? Can you express your emotions freely, clearly, and openly in your communities and feel seen and heard and embraced one way or another? Think about the people you can do that with and try to make those people a part of your life if it's possible. Prioritize those communities, prioritize that feeling. And that's kind of what I'm trying to do with the sleigh. I'm trying to prioritize support and love and connection and fun and movement and rest and kindness and lightness and joy and cats and elbows and butt cheeks and all the good stuff. So prioritize the things that are important to you. Put them in your life, keep them in there, and stick with something. If you want to make a change in your life, stick with it. The 90-day sleigh. 90 days is not a long time, but it's a good amount of time to get something done. It's a good amount of time to instill new habits, see if they work, adjust them, and keep them or move on to the next thing. Even if 90 days is too much, try 30 days. 30 days is a start. I could have done 30 days with the 90-day sleigh. Could have been a 30-day sleigh. And in fact, in the future, I'm going to do 30-day sleighs with folks. If you want to be a part of it, let me know. I'd love to have you on board because it's important. I've got some big ideas relating to comedy and health and how I want to interact with both of those communities. I'm excited to be a part of both communities. I am interacting with those communities in the ways that I think is valuable, that I think is important, and that I want to be a part of. I don't know if I'm going to have kids. I'm in my 40s, dog. It's not looking like I'm going to have kids in this life. And so how do I want to leave my little mark on the world? And it's by helping people move around, giggle a little bit, wiggle, giggle and wiggle. You know what I mean? Work out, feel good, be funny. Work out, feel good, be funny. That's the point. It's what we do. It's what I want to do. And I hope it's what you want to do too. That's enough of me yammering, blabbing, talking and schmocking. Maybe, no, it's not enough. Because guess what? This is my podcast. I love this thing. I'm having fun doing it. And I'm excited to revisit a couple of those previous podcasts. I got some clips that I cut up. I haven't listened to them in a while. And I want to hear what Mike Richman has to say to his younger self. So let's listen to that right now and see what we can gain. Here we are, listening to a host of Locked On Blazers, Mike Richman. It's like, what advice would you give your younger self? Be that in the realm of, parenting or broadcasting or health or comedy. Like, what is the advice you would give to younger Mike or to any younger potential sportscasters, broadcasters out there that are looking to make something of their life and make a name in the game?
To younger me, I probably would say try to figure out what you want to do a little bit earlier. Try to figure it out, because I was so aimless and this is what I'm supposed to do, right? Like, I'm supposed to yammer about sports. That's what I was supposed to do. I'll never do it as a full-time job, and maybe this is will be a small part of my life, and I'll say, oh yeah, for 5 years or whatever, I did this. But this is what I was supposed to do. And I probably knew that when I was 7. I probably I had the koosh ball, the koosh rim on my on my door, right? And it had a breakaway rim so you could really dunk. And I would announce the games and announce my moves and dunk and all those things. And I was pretty smart, right? Like, I knew when I was maybe 10 that I was not going to be a professional athlete. I was not confused by it. I wasn't like, I'm gonna. I was like, I was reading Sports Illustrated for kids, and I was like, oh, yeah, I'm not that.
I could write the article though.
Right. But even then, I think that's what I'm saying is, I think I've always known that I was supposed to do this, but I don't think when I was at the make decisions about your career age, which unfortunately in America is 16 to 18, which sucks.
It really sucks.
That's not a great time to be making decisions. I didn't have that in mind, and I didn't have the brain to do that. So if I could go back and tell my younger self, would be like you know what you want to do, go pursue it. Like you
Mm-hmm.
get it. And I eventually got there in my own way, right? Like I covered the
Yeah.
freaking I traveled around the country and covered the basketball team professionally for a brief period of my life.
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty thankful that I had that opportunity. I'm never going to have that again. That's never going to come back again. And I'm very thankful that I put myself in position to do that. But if I could tell my younger self, it's, yeah, like try to get a little more direction, because maybe you would
Yeah.
have, maybe it would have, it might have ended the same way, but it would have ended in I would have been a little less circuitous route to get there.
Right.
To young media people, it's like, there's no fucking jobs in media. So if you want to do it, like you were saying, it's like, write the jokes you want to write, make the show you want to make. I think some of the best advice uh, is just like, once you figure out the place, the like sort of space you can fill with what your skill is, whether that's telling jokes or making movies or whatever it is, you have every right to fill it. Like you can fill it, you and go ahead and do it, because like in the sort of stratified, strange world that we live in, it's like everything is so freaking niche, and so it's like there is no monoculture anymore. There are so many opportunities just to like kind of do the thing you want to do. And so like,
Mm-hmm.
um if you do, or if you are lucky enough to be able to figure that out and have some clarity about it, just go do it. Just go do it,
Yeah.
and be consistent in doing it. I think it's like going to the gym, right? It's like, if you the workout you'll do, the best
Mm-hmm.
workout is the workout you do. I've kind of figured out that there's only one crappy little workout I'll do, but it's like something I will do. I'll probably do it later tonight, right? Like,
Yeah.
and so if you do find that and you're doing anything, any creative endeavor, like, do it consistently, and you'll be rewarded for it. I feel like, I bet, Rudy, on episode 43, you feel a sense of a more rewarding sense than you probably felt on episode 7.
It feels good to have kept it going, to
Yeah.
be here and sticking with it. And it's the end of the year, and I'm like, holy shit, yeah, we're doing a thing. It's going down, baby.
Yeah.
I love it. Yeah, man. Man, I really appreciate Mike Richman. I think he is just such a solid sports commentator. Listen to the podcast, listen to Locked On Blazers, and you'll hear that he takes a super human approach to what he does. And I think that's what has drawn me to him for so long. Like, as a sports fan, as a listener, as someone who appreciates pundits who aren't blowhards, but who are people who think about and care about the game and the content that they're covering in one way or another. The guy loves hoops. The guy talks about, and you hear it. You hear about it. It's like, and I love the advice he gave his younger self. If you know what you want to do, find it and do it consistently, and probably from an earlier age. Now, I heard a piece of advice from a friend of mine that her mother gave her about finding her calling. And it was her parents, mom or dad or parents or both or whatever. And they said, find what you love, what you're passionate about, and figure out how to make a career of it. And that was never something I heard. That was never a thing that I grew up with. And I hope that people do that. I think people are doing it more, but it hasn't been something that has been at the forefront of my mind as I've grown up, as I've made decisions in my life. You know, I've done the things that I've loved, but more as a hobbyist, because I didn't pursue them professionally. I think it gets really sticky for a lot of people when you try to monetize your passion. It's hard, it's tough, and it's crunchy. It puts you on the outs with other people. It makes you make decisions that I think are kind of gnarly sometimes. And that's one of the things about comedy that's hard for me. It's like, I love comedy. I love what it is. I love what it does for people. But I don't love all the accoutrement that comes with comedy. You know, there's so much political bullshit that goes into comedy everywhere you go. There's so much like infighting and gatekeeping and stuff that's a big part of comedy. Roasts are a big part of comedy. I don't want to do roasts. That stuff sucks. You want to try to make each other feel bad? I'm from Oregon. Got the thinnest skin on the planet, dog. Tell me about it. Oh my gosh, you don't even know. but find the thing you love and give it a go. See if you can make it your life. If you can make it your day to day, if you can figure out how to make the things that you're excited about and passionate about your living, friggin' A. I would love that. And that's what I'm trying to do now, working out and comedy. Those are my two things that I love. And I'm trying to figure out how can I make both of those a big part of my life? How can I contribute to both of those communities in a way that is thoughtful, that is productive, that is helpful, and that makes me a little money? I haven't done that part yet, but I'm trying to figure it out. So, if you know, let me know. I'm gonna be doing. If you want to work with me, let me know. If you want to be personally trained, I put the arsenal in personal. We'll get to training, dog. But just love that idea from Mike. So give his podcast a listen if you're a Hoops head, if you're a Blazers fan. Locked On Blazers, dog. 5 days a week. That guy is a beast. He be making content left and right. And now for the next part of the pod, I'm going to revisit some conversations I had with Tom Rhodes. And this first piece of advice that Tom gives is more directly related to comedy and comedy writing. So let's hear a little bit about what Tom Rhodes has to say about how he looks for juicy morsels. Do you have a specific process, or is there a piece of advice that you would give to other comedy writers?
Well, I'm always sticking things into the brain, reading,
right,
and putting input to get output. Hoping if I just keep putting great information in my head, it's going to produce an everlasting gobstopper.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I'm looking for, the everlasting gobstopper, the jokes that will last forever, that aren't dated. And when I was younger, like most people, I would do dirty stuff because it gets a laugh. I still love a good dirty joke, and then just sometimes referencing something gets a laugh. Like this younger generation eating so much ass, or something like that. Like
there's a lot of ass eating. There's a lot of ass eating out there. That's what Tom is talking about. But yeah, I love the idea of putting in valuable content to be able to create your own. That's the meat grinder of comedy, right? That's what you put in stuff, and then it comes out as dick jokes. That's the beauty. Or whatever kind of jokes that you tend to make. I think it's a lot of fun. And then Tom, like I said, I'm so fortunate to call Tom a friend, and I feel like he's been a good friend over the years. And so this next question I asked him was about friendship and what he does and how he tries to prioritize it. So here is a little bit of convo between Tom Rhodes and myself on friendship. Like, how do you prioritize your friendships, and what kinds of lessons do you think are important that you've taken in that help you connect with other people?
I love Jeff Sinclair, by the way, and you guys have a beautiful friendship. And I have a beautiful friendship with each of you also, but you and Jeff specifically are really tight. And it was beautiful to witness. Thanks. In soul and beyond since then. But for me, being sympathetic, just being a good listener. It's like when my mom complains about anything, the government, the post office, whatever's bothering my mother, I listen. And then I just go, dirty bastards. Yeah. And I think that's all anybody really wants. They just want to know that they're blowing off steam. Everyone needs to blow off steam, whether it's and you can't always do it to your spouse or your partner, and you can't always do it to your friends. Right. But that's part of being a friend or in a relationship with somebody. That you got to let people, come home from work, they're pissed off, or something bad happened to them. Parent died, or they lost a job, or something they wanted didn't happen. Just listen and be sympathetic. You don't have to That's my all-purpose thing for when my mom complains about anything is dirty bastards.
I love it. There's a
But
lot of them out
I
there.
mean, use it with your friends. Maybe it will work.
Dirty bastards. Hey, I think no, like you said, I think a lot of the time, like you said, people just want to be heard. They just want to feel heard.
Yeah. And then I try and see the important people. I have a really good friend who lives in New Orleans. I hadn't been there in like 5 years. So a few months ago, I did a weekend in Fort Worth and then a weekend in Dallas. And then in the 5 days off in between, I went down to visit my friend.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's participating
Mm-hmm.
in the relationship, whether it's on the phone or in person.
Yeah, I love it. That's right, right? Just it doesn't take all day. You don't have to do the biggest things, I find, just like, oh, here's the thing I saw that made me think about you, or I talked about you yesterday, or that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Even just a
And
text or a
I
voice
mean,
note.
you text people, but I think it's always best to, I'll text friends I haven't talked to in a while and say, let's set up a time when we can talk,
Mm-hmm.
because that's much better.
Yeah. Yeah, totally. No, I mean you're good about that. You're great about that. I really, like I said, appreciated you taking the time to do another one of these because we got
cut off.
that darn battery, and so I'm super thankful that you were like, let's do another one. Why not?
Yeah, I felt really bad about it. I'm glad you were able to save the episode.
But it actually put a really good bow on the episode because the advice that you gave at the end is very applicable to me and very applicable to most of us, I think, which is be kind to yourself, right? And I think
Yeah. Oh yeah, that was it. I forget what the question was about. I forget what you asked me, but
what would you tell your younger self?
you got to be your own best friend.
Mm-hmm.
And how we're best friends with each other.
Mm-hmm.
They're kind, they're compassionate. Don't beat yourself up. Think of yourself as your own. I've only learned this in recent years.
Yeah.
You do something stupid. We all, make mistakes. Whatever. You drop your driver's license into a shredder, or
Mm-hmm.
you knocked over the lamp grandma gave you and broke it, or
Yeah.
whatever the fuck. And you do a bad set as a comedian. Just like, try and be sympathetic to yourself instead of, oh, you moron, you're so stupid, and that doesn't do anything for yourself.
Totally. Yeah, it's like if I treated my friends the way I talk to myself in my head, I'd have a lot fewer friends. Like
Yeah, definitely.
I wouldn't have the same kind of relationships and that's so sad. It's so friggin' sad. It's like, no, I like who I am. I like Rudy. Rudy just fucks up once in a while because he's a human freaking being.
Yeah, exactly.
So, that's how it is. And there you have it. Dirty bastards. Tom Rhodes talking about friendship, what he does to prioritize his relationships with other people. Listening, talking, spending time with them. Imagine that. Sounds pretty nice. I hope that you're doing good. I hope that you find somebody to chat with today. I hope you find a way to wiggle your body. Are you going to wiggle the body today? You're going to work the body yada yada? Is that in your plans? You're going to write? You're going to walk? You're going to pet a cat? You're going to hug someone you love? You're going to make sweet love to your love? What are you going to do today? What kind of nice things are you going to do for yourself and for the world around you? I don't know. Think about it. If you do something good, let me know. I'd love to hear about it. I think that's how we make things better. And so thank you for stopping by. Thank you for hanging out. Thank you for being part of the 90-day Slay. If you're one of my Slayers that is still listening, you made it this far. That means you're going to get to those 90 days. That's just it. That's just what it means. So if you have any questions, thoughts, comments, concerns, reach out to your homie Rudy, Rude Boy. jokesandthegym@gmail.com. Also, Rudy Tyburcy. They call me RUDYTYBURCZY. That's my favorite song. Usher wrote it. And I thank you for your time. And if you want to hear that original piece of advice Tom was giving to me as time ran out on our first episode together, stick around after the song. Anyways, love you. Hope you're doing well. High five, my friends. We'll see you next time.
Jokes in the gym. Jokes in the gym. Not jokes in the gym. Jokes in the gym. Jokes in the gym. With Rudy Tybersi.
Or if you could talk to young Tom right now, what advice or input would you hope that he holds on to a little bit?
Be nicer to yourself. Be kinder to yourself. Be your own best friend. And how are best friends to each other? They're very kind and empathetic.
Was that it? That might have been it. I asked the question to Tom Riggedy Rhodes, baby. And the piece of advice was be nicer to yourself. And I love that. There's a lot of ass eating out there.